everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, hi, I'm Lexi, and today we are watching Netflix's live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender. I have been waiting for this live-action adaptation since 2018 when, like, the original creators were on the project. They left. So I'll take a moment to breathe about that. So I am very nervous, but very excited to jump into this series. And I'm excited that I get to do it with you guys, because that's always fun. Unlike the One Piece, live-action One Piece reaction series that I did, I've actually seen the animated series Avatar: The Last Airbender, the original one, produced by like Nickelodeon back in the day, several times. It was like my favorite show, you know, growing up as a child, and then watching it like pretty frequently in like middle school and high school. You know, seasonal depression would get to you, and so I would just always binge the show. It just made me happy. It made me feel good. And the coolest part about, I think, Avatar: The Last Airbender is it can be enjoyed by any age, really. So as you grow up, these like life lessons that you don't really think about seriously when you're a kid really starts to dawn on you as an adult, even if it's told in, I guess, the universe of children and with like wacky animation and funny like jokes that children laugh at. There's like a lot of serious themes and a lot of hard work that gone into like not only the story but the characters and the world building and the magic systems and all of that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a show that has been picked apart so much and should definitely be looked at as an example of like a perfect television series. I can go on and on about that kind of stuff, but forget it, we're watching the live action. Also, don't forget to give this video a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on videos like this one. And also on my Patreon, I am going to be dropping early reactions to the full-length uncut version of like this video, and then early access to more reactions to the live action Avatar series before they get dropped onto YouTube. So that's also on my Patreon if you're interested. That's going to be behind a paywall though. That's gonna be on tiers Gold and Platinum if you're interested. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the series. The first episode is titled Aang. So, I mean, it gives it away, the main character, right? So we're gonna go ahead and jump into this. Also, before we do jump into it, usually I note take when I do these shows, but for this one, I'm really just going to soak it all in and then take notes after, because I'm going to be doing a longer, more in-depth analysis discussion at the end of each video. So yeah, I'm just going to enjoy it as is than my usual note-taking the entire time. Capital City, okay. Making sure this is the right show for a second. Firebending. Ooh. An earthbender. I can't even tell the colors. Okay, this looks so good. An ostrich horse? Yep. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's so good. I'll also say the coolest thing about Avatar is like the implementation of real martial arts moves. I can't say that. Wow, my like tongue twister. Martial arts moves when they're doing the bending. It fits. Okay, like it fits. I'll talk more about that later. Is that a scroll?
The Earth King. They're going to start a war.
The Earth King, oh. Oh my gosh, this action sequence, it's just so good. It looks so clean. The moves. See how like firebenders always have like offensive martial arts moves? It's so good.
We'll be prepared for your attack.
The water tribes and the air nomads and the entire world will turn their attention to the Earthbender.
It's so interesting to start the series like this. That's definitely Sozin, so.
We aren't the real target.
Nope.
My sights are set higher.
Higher.
Much higher.
Why? Why are you doing this?
because it is our time.
Oh, okay. This is them definitely saying this ain't a kid's show anymore. Ooh! Okay, that was pretty smooth.
For millennia, the four nations have lived in harmony.
This isn't Katara's voice. Just pointing that out.
A peace made possible by the Avatar.
They're giving Kyoshi credit for that. That's true.
When one Avatar dies, their spirit is reborn into a new body in an eternal cycle.
They're just really going with the exposition on this instead of showing it in the episodes.
Fire Lord Sozin, the ruthless leader of the Fire Nation, believes this is his moment to launch a merciless campaign to conquer the world. An Airbender who may not be ready for the responsibility of becoming the Avatar.
Woo! The music is so good. Aang. That's actually so sick. Okay, they did like a little bit of exposition of the reincarnation just right off the bat for the beginning there. Maybe they'll go more in depth about it later when it's supposed to happen. The Southern Air Temple. Wow! Is that Gyatso? Woo! What? Wait, why is he just like flying? That's pretty smooth.
Show off.
Skip
Training again.
It's all the same drills. You know I already know all this stuff.
You may be more advanced than the others. There's much you have to learn.
I wonder why.
And believe there may come a day when you wish you'd spent more time with your teachers. You and the other students better go help set up for the Great Comet Festival.
The Great
There's
Comet
work to be done
Festival.
before the air nomads from the other temples arrive.
How many are coming?
No. I could just see it now. I could see it now. With all, yeah, here they come. All grouped together. Look at all those appas. So cute.
Tell him
It wasn't the right time.
the right time. We don't have the luxury of waiting for the right time. We need to go talk to the council. Now.
Yeah, Gyatso always wanted to protect Aang's childhood.
Aang is powerful, but there's much he still needs to learn.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to know who he is. He could fail to be everything we need him to be.
True.
The role of the Avatar is a heavy responsibility. Not meant for a child. But it is not our place to choose who bears that burden.
Mm-hmm.
And I fear you've grown too close to Aang to see that, Brother Gyatso. Aang must leave immediately to begin training in the other bending disciplines. And we can only hope that it is not too late for him.
Okay, this is one of the differences that they changed from the original series. Because he was supposed to leave to train at, like, I think the Eastern or the Northern Temple, some other temple, to continue his airbending training. But they changed it here, which makes sense because with the festival, they're all going to be in the same spot.
Most received their markings in the main hall, but I wanted you to receive yours in the presence of Yang Chen, the last air nomad to be the Avatar.
Yeah. Wow. They haven't told him.
You have always been special,
I never asked to be special.
but you are. Aang, you are the Avatar.
Oh.
The Fire Nation is embarked on a dark path. Their actions threaten to throw the world out of
Interesting.
balance. Only the Avatar, the one person who can master all four elements, can save the world. The world needs the Avatar. The world needs you, Aang. You should leave right
Interesting.
away so you can begin training in the other disciplines.
Right away? Leave my friends? Leave home?
Always remember who you are.
Mm.
Because I can't imagine a better person to have been given this power.
Can't I just keep pretending I'm your friend?
Mm.
You will always be my friend.
Okay. This is a lot different from like the original on how they told Aang, because I like how they did it in the animated series where they laid out like the toys and he picked them because they felt familiar. And that's something on how they choose, like, because the air nomads are, I can't remember what exactly like group of people that they're based off of, but it's the one that the Dalai Lama is a part of. And they choose the Dalai Lama based off of like kind of the same situation or scenario where the Dalai Lama like picks, I don't know if it's a toy or some type of tools or something, and that's how they determine, because they believe in like reincarnation. And so they did that with Aang too, to tell him that he was the Avatar. But this is a little bit different. This is more intimate than it is like a spiritual official gathering where he goes through that ritual. Let's go! Let's go! Appa!
I know who I am. I like to play airball and eat banana cakes and goof off with my friends. Not someone who can stop the Fire Nation. Not someone who can stop a war. I don't want the responsibility. I'm scared of my power. I'm scared of being alone.
Appa! Oh my gosh, he's so fluffy. He looks so good.
He needs to go up where things always make more sense.
This isn't him running away either. He's just taking a little joyride. And they're down below. No, the Fire Nation are definitely down below. Yup, here they come.
Remember, no survivors.
They did the jetpacks?
Brothers and sisters, we're under attack!
Oh no. That was really cool. Woo! Airbending fighting is crazy. He tripped him with air. Ooh! What was I saying? Dude, look at this amazing shot right here. The masters are so sick. That looks so cool. That looks so cool.
Maybe we should head back home.
Oh, they can use it like jetpacks because the Sozin's comet. Duh. I'm an idiot.
Stay down.
Seeing the actual massacre of this is wild. Gyatso! And the children! Ooh, that looks really similar to the room from the animated version. Yup. There they go. Dude, the kid, I'm like literally gonna tear up. Greatest airbender to ever live. That's what Aang called him in the animated one. Ooh.
You may have prevailed on another night. But not when we have the power of the comet.
Yeah. Yup. There he goes. My hairs are like sticking up like crazy. That was so good. That was so good. The like feeling that you get from the Avatar state compared to like who Aang is, it's crazy. It is like 0 to 100. Did you see that? It's just like, boom, boom, like, Aang would have never done that. The way it just like takes over his body like that is just so wild to me. Ooh! There's Katara. Okay, oh, there's the ship. Interesting. Yeah, the ship that they froze over. She was just chilling in there. Got no booby traps, I guess. Wolf Cove. Okay.
We've been manning the wall in 3
There he is.
minutes, but it seems some of you can't be trusted to stay at your posts. Didn't think so. Okay, back to your duties. Come on, let's go. The fishing boats came back empty. Just proves if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself.
Yeah, they just don't appreciate your incredible leadership skills.
That's right, they don't realize it. Very funny.
Okay. He's given Sokka vibes, I think. At least like season 1 Sokka vibes for sure. Furrowed brow and meh, meh, meh.
You were waterbending again, weren't you?
Don't worry, no one could see me.
You should be helping out more around the village anyway.
Not everything is about preparing to fight.
We're at war.
Waterbending is what built our culture. Our way of life. Keeping it alive is our duty.
Keeping ourselves alive is our duty.
I know that.
The sibling like fights and stuff of season 1. Actually, all the 3 seasons. They're doing a pretty good job with it.
I'm not doing this.
Oh no. They're not making like Sokka as like misogynistic, because in the opening scene it shows him being that way, just because of like the gender norms and culture of the tribes and you know, being a man, being a warrior that protects the village, that kind of situation. I feel like that's a big, like that's a pivotal point of like Sokka's character in the first beginning of like the season. So it's interesting that they took that dialogue out. I feel like the dialogue from the very first scene in like the animated series is super important. That sets like who these characters are, what they value, especially teenagers in a time of war. But it's just kind of weird that they took that out. Maybe so people don't jump on the whole Sokka hate train. Ugh. Well, that was lucky. They just went right through that tunnel. Sokka. His screaming.
What is that?
Ooh. There it is.
We need to get that canoe or we're gonna end up as fish food. Should be ironic.
It's a ship. It's Zuko's ship. Look at it. Ooh. That's one of the smaller ones too. Oh, that looks so good. It looks so good. There he is, there he is, there he is. What? He's drawing? Okay. Okay.
Katara?
Oh. Oh. That's a cool touch. That was a cool touch. I like that. There's Zuko. Look at him.
Finally.
Oh.
You're not thinking of leaving him.
Katara, a strange glowy iceberg just exploded and left behind a mysterious little ball. What part of that makes you
We can't just leave him out here.
like this? Why listen to me? I'm just responsible for the safety of the village.
Okay, so he didn't wake up.
Prince Zuko, I don't think your father would want you.
My father has banished me until I find the Avatar, and that's exactly what I'll do.
Huh.
All I'm saying.
They're really speeding along this exposition, I feel like, in the first episode.
It'll all be worth it once I return home in glory to take my place as the rightful heir to the Fire Lord.
Perhaps it's time to consider.
What kind of painting was that? Why does it look like that? They look like sim characters.
It's my destiny.
There it is. There he goes. Oh, the Night Bear. Okay, okay, okay. He's back, he's back, he's back. Interesting. Ooh. Wow, they did the proportions of the tattoos, like, perfectly. Oh, this is pretty spot on right here. The kids. He just immediately joins in.
Hey, get away from him! What are you thinking? Have you completely forgotten your training? What did I say about keeping your guard up? He could be the enemy.
I'm not the enemy.
Then who are you?
I'm Aang. Where am I? How did I get here? Appa? Appa! Where's Appa? Sokka, have you seen him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Not strange at all.
airbending all around, isn't he? Yep, there he goes. Weird. He's just literally flying around. And he already has the whistle?
Sky Bison. Sky Bison.
Repeating it doesn't help.
There he is! And he's flying! They're like, what the heck? This is good. Sokka.
It's
a great comet festival.
Yeah.
Water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony.
But then,
Everything changed. The Fire Nation attacked.
Gran saying it.
Only the Avatar. Everyone in the village knows this story. But you don't, do you, young man? Just as you don't know that airbenders haven't been seen in generations.
Mm-hmm.
You've been trapped in that ice this whole time. The last time that the great comet was seen in the sky was 100 years ago. He is the last airbender.
Roll credits. Kind of weird to have like Gran be like the one of exposition for that.
Let me make something clear. Our mission is vital to the future of the Fire Nation. And so we will find the Avatar. We will prove ourselves worthy. And we will see our homes and families again. Or we will die trying.
When I was little, I didn't really understand the war until the night the Firebenders came. They destroyed everything in their path. Everything. Everyone.
I think I know who that was.
We're never really ready
Hmm.
until we have to be.
Oh, there's the ship.
They were part of the Fire Nation's first attacks on the Water Tribe. The Firebenders were ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, the Fire Nation has conquered most of the world.
Okay, that was okay.
Your skills have never been sharper.
I need to be at my best when I face the world's ultimate warrior. They say
Now, how about a nice cup of jasmine tea?
I don't need any calming tea, Uncle.
Say we find the Avatar and you're able to defeat him. A mission your father believed to be impossible. And so your return home may be unexpected.
you're wrong.
You're a waterbender. I'm the only waterbender left in the Southern Tribe. And Sokka doesn't like it when I practice because he's worried that the Fire Nation will find out, and there's a reason. I'm the only waterbender left in the village. They've killed all the others. The monks told me bending is about energy and balance.
Let's go. Oh, wow. Look at that.
That's good. You just have to let go.
What?
Guitar?
They're here. Wow.
Sokka, the racks.
Get them loaded.
Who's that guy? He looks like the same age as them.
What
Oh,
are they here?
look at his armor. That's sick.
Time, what could they possibly want?
Aang?
He's more than the last airbender. Aren't you? You are the Avatar.
Yeah.
I knew he was hiding something. When the world needed the Avatar the most, he vanished. Because he's a coward. He ran and people died.
Sokka.
Dang. Oh, look at the water symbol on the gate door. That's sick. You know, I'm surprised they didn't also include the shot of you know, Sokka standing on top of like his watchtower, and then you just see like the boat come into frame and it's just like way bigger than him. Missed opportunity. Could have just even CGI'd it.
Prince Zuko, we have no desire to take your homes. We merely seek someone who does not belong here. Someone who is not one of you.
The
Turn him
rocks.
over now, or I'll burn this place to the ground.
It's like the I think his name's Dallas Liu or something. He's like trying to do the raspy like Zuko voice.
But there's more to being a leader than just catching fish. You have to give people something to live for. That's what the Avatar is. He's hope.
This is actually really good. That was really good dialogue. It's his thing! I forgot what it's called. Hand-to-hand combat with Zuko? I don't think this is a good idea.
Son of Akota, lord of, snow and ice. The water Let's settle this between us, leader to leader. I thought you firebenders had some guts.
Don't fall for it. We overpower them. It's no contest.
Well, where's the glory in that?
Whoa.
Accept.
Oh, shoot. Oh. Okay, he has, like, he can at least dodge. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. Yep. Aang stepping in.
Leave him alone!
The music. Woo! Whoa! Dang. That was wild. That was wild. That was really good. What? The kids are...
Enough games. Burn the whole place to the ground.
No! I'll go with you. Just leave him alone.
Good, they still added that part.
I'm the one you're looking for.
I'm the Avatar.
No one has ever fought for me before. I think you're the bravest person I've ever met.
Ooh. Dang it. Again, missed opportunity to be like, but you're just a kid. Well, you're just a teenager.
Sokka, we have to help him. Sokka!
Okay, listen up.
Drills?
And don't let the younger ones push you around. You're in charge. Now, let's go save that weird kid.
Okay, cool. I'm glad they added a character to, like, you know, to look over the village when Sokka leaves. That's actually pretty cool.
I'm Iroh, son of Fire Lord Azula.
Why did the Fire Nation start this war?
It is within our nature to expand and consume, like fire itself.
Peace comes from respecting life, not killing and destroying. Is that what you believe?
I must leave. But I look forward to many more conversations with you, Avatar.
Interesting conversation that they added.
Hopefully you can find a swift current. Maybe draft off their wake.
Or we could go another way.
There's no way you're getting me on that.
That was good, that was good. I like that one. Oh, here we go. Oh,
The Avatars.
interesting. Oh, he's taking it with him. Stop. Oh, he didn't have to fight anyone as he was escaping. The staff! Let's go! The first appearance of the staff, right? Oh! Oh, nice! What? What? That was really high up. Very interesting choice that they did there. They didn't show Aang fighting any of the firebenders to show like how how much of an advantage Aang really does have in this world, you know, as a 12-year-old boy being underestimated and also being an airbender, which no one has fought in 100 years. So it shows the advantage Aang actually has and like the hope that he actually brings to being able to restore balance. They didn't show that. They also didn't show, they did show like the struggle with like Zuko fighting him, but they didn't show him, you know, falling into the water, getting knocked out, going into the Avatar state, and showing a glimpse of like him waterbending as well, to like really prove to these guys that he is the real deal, he is the Avatar, and they get to see him in his like glowy Avatar state. And instead they had Katara block the fireball with her waterbending. Interesting choice. Not a bad choice to make, honestly, because I think it'll make Aang going into the Avatar state the second time he's supposed to maybe a more powerful moment. And they're like kind of showing the strength of Katara as well. Again, not a bad choice, just a really different choice that I wasn't expecting.
They're gonna keep coming after you.
Which means we can't go home. So where do we go?
And we also didn't have Gran like say goodbye to them and be like, now your destiny, you found him for a reason, your destiny is intertwined with his. Now this is your purpose too. We didn't have that moment either, which I feel like was supposed to be pretty important to like solidifying their role in all of this, but I'm just being nitpicky, just pointing out differences. That's all it is. Oh, the aftermath. 100 years later. The tree's grown. Ugh. Uh-oh. Yeah, Gyatso.
Always remember who you are.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, breaking apart the area too. Oh man. Oh no.
And
ooh.
I can't imagine a better person to have been given this power. You will always be my friend.
Interesting. This is really cool, actually. Oh, I can't see a kid cry, man. Be heartbroken like that. Pains me. Ugh.
So not to be rude, but what was that?
I don't know. So much I don't know. I need to make sure their deaths weren't in vain. I need to follow through on what they wanted me to do. Complete my training and master all the other bending skills so I can bring balance back to the world.
Oh, is that all?
This was my home. Only
Zuko.
after we've lost something that we
Dude.
realize how much it means to us.
Dude, Zuko has like a side story here. He becomes an artist. What's this about? Let's go. Oh,
Thing to get it back.
look at that.
And I don't know if I have what it takes. But the one thing I do know is I'm the Avatar, and this is just the beginning.
Zuko. Okay. I mean, okay, so the show is still technically PG, but they're like right off the gate, sorry, but this is gonna be about death. Okay, you guys, so that was episode 1 of Netflix's live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm kind of surprised how many, like, changes they actually did make compared to the original series, and how much exposition that gets told throughout, like, a span of several episodes had to be, like, crunched down and explained very quickly from like characters who don't explain that exposition in the first episode. That's really, and I don't know, it's different. Don't get me wrong, it's actually it probably makes sense for like an 8 hour long 8-hour-long episodes to fit like what is it, 20 episodes of Avatar into that has like a lot of filler and whatnot. There was a lot of exposition, like explaining right off the gate. I feel like there was some like missed opportunities there with a lot of really cool shots that they do have in the original animated series that they could have had in this one. But I really like the cast for this. I feel like a lot of people are worried about the costume and set design being so accurate to the animated series that it's going to look not very good. It doesn't represent as much like realism that you would see in a live action series or show that isn't like an adaptation. And yeah, I could see that, but I'm personally happy that they do stick pretty well to the costume and set design just because of the vibrancy of the colors and how much Avatar uses color to explain a lot of different things, and that doesn't have to be like as much exposition as they could, because I mean they have to explain that everyone in the water tribe are waterbenders and that's their race versus the Fire Nation. Like if the Fire Nation is wearing red, if the Fire Nation has these colors, what do you think that they do? What do you think that they're gonna bend? Versus like the water tribe with their bright blues and purples, you know. And it's cool that they're also like giving names, like different names to like the locations, like Wolf Cove or something, or Wolf Cave, Wolf Cove is like the tribe that like Katara and Sokka are at in the Southern Water Tribe is Wolf Cove, which maybe they said it in the original animated series. I don't think they said it like in the series, but maybe that's, you know, part of like Avatar Wikipedia or something, but I don't remember them ever mentioning the actual name of the tribe. So that was pretty interesting to see. We also got to see like a conversation between Iroh and Aang that I didn't think I would like. I just didn't expect it to happen, obviously, because it's not part of what actually like happens in the series, the original. But I'm kind of, it would, I feel like it would make sense for Iroh to want to like meet the Avatar and talk to him, especially because the virtues of Iroh and what he stands for and like the way he believes the world should be and like his outlook on life. So that was also an interesting conversation. Also, the conversation of like, why do they need me? Why did the Fire Nation even want to start this war? A lot of that stuff gets explained in season 3. So kind of interesting that they had Aang ask, I mean, it makes sense for Aang to ask why the war started. He wasn't there when it was starting. Having Iroh answer him, kind of interesting thing there. We saw right off the gate Aang's backstory, but in the original series, Zuko's backstory is supposed to mirror Aang's in a lot of ways. And I think I'll go more into that, how they mirror each other like almost identically when we see Zuko's backstory. So I won't mention any of that in, you know, this episode reaction. I'll wait until Zuko has his chance to shine. Another thing about with Zuko is right off the gate, he explains it himself that he's a banished prince and this is his destiny. He needs to capture the Avatar, claim his rightful place on the throne, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of that gets explained with his beef with Zhao, which we haven't seen in the series yet. So we have yet to see, what would he be? Would he be a general right now? General Zhao? I don't know what he is right now. I think he's a general. But we see this beef between Zhao and Zuko, and they end up ensuing in an Agni Kai. And that's where we understand like the reason for Zuko's, you know, innate nature to like capture the Avatar, why he's so persistent, why he's so driven to do this. It's interesting that they didn't do that. I would have liked to see, maybe they'll go more into that too, because, you know, Zhao, he throws a couple shots at him in the animated series that gets Zuko all like riled up, so maybe they'll go more into that. Maybe with like Zhao, they'll explain and, you know, flashback to Zuko before his scar and explain his backstory that way. Zuko is definitely my favorite character from the original series. I'm sure he's a lot of people's just because he's written very well. I would say one of the best redemption arcs in fiction ever. And so he's always been such a fascinating, complex character to really dive into and root for, but also not really root for. And of course, season 1 Zuko is kind of hard to handle sometimes. We will definitely have to see how Dallas Liu plays him for the rest of the season. I'm really liking Iroh's character as well. I think the dialogue for him seems a little bit awkward here and there because, like, I know Uncle's supposed to be this like tea-loving guy, right? Like this really chill kind of uncle, tea-loving guy, like kind of just there in the first season. It kind of felt like the dialogue felt a little forced, where he'd be like, yes, your forms are doing really good. Now, why don't you have some tea? So it just felt a little bit forced than like comical or like natural, I guess. It didn't feel very natural, but I'm sure as the season goes on, the characters, now that they're established and we have the exposition and we have the start of this journey, it'll be a lot more lax and it'll feel a lot more natural with these characters. You know, they're trying to live up to something that's already basically perfect. So it will feel a bit awkward, like they're trying really hard to make sure that they're mastering these characters. Speaking of that, I think Katara's character is great. She's full of hope and inspirational speeches and a very positive outlook, very excited to do all this kind of stuff, which is very season 1 Katara, which I like. Sokka, actually, like I said, with Sokka's character, he was a bit more, I guess, a traditionalist. I would say Sokka's mindset was very, very much like a traditionalist guy, like mindset, because the Water Tribe is reminiscent of, Inuit Eskimos or maybe like Alaskan Natives, for example, where gender roles were very apparent for like living and survival, and you stick to those, they work, especially in really harsh climates where survival is your top priority, hunting, fishing, gathering, all that kind of stuff. And so roles were set in place to make sure that you stay alive. And that kind of mindset that Sokka has in the animated series is there. And, the emphasis on gender being a part of those roles was very important to him. He had his father to look up for that he left for war, right? Like, had to abandon the village and leave that responsibility to Sokka. And so he feels like this overly, like, masculine responsibility, protector and the hunter and the leader of the tribe, like, trying to fit the bill as much as he possibly can, which also leads to these arguments with, like, Katara and him about gender roles. And that's what Sokka's mentality is in the beginning of the season. And then as, he's not really like secluded on like one small village anymore and he's experienced the entire world, that's when he starts to kind of expand his mindset, expand his heart to really like see more. And it's interesting that they still like make sure that Sokka has that kind of mindset of like the leader of the tribe needing to do everything that he can to protect everyone and holding that weighted responsibility, but they're leaving out the gender politics of that. Some might like that. I personally don't, because I think it sets up near the end of the season. Well, first of all, it sets up the attitude and relationship that he has with Suki when they meet her in the Kyoshi Warriors. And that's when he gets exposed to like a different system that works for like a community of people. But to expand on that, the season finale, where they meet the Northern Water Tribe, and the expectations and rules of women versus men and the traditional mindset of that is like 100 times more than even like what Sokka was saying in the beginning of the first season. And seeing that played out for Katara, being a woman of a water tribe, and Sokka as well. So I don't know if the word would be disappointed that they didn't have it in there, but I definitely think they should have done it. Like, I feel like it makes sense because whether they're trying to be like more progressive and, you know, whatever, so they want to take out sexism as much as possible in a show. That's not how the world actually is. Like, even today, we still deal with these types of issues. Taking it out of a story that works and it's great and people understand and watch it. They understand we're not cheering on gender roles and, you know, expectations of women, but we're recognizing that it's still a thing, like in the world, like that's still a thing. And a lot of people are divisive about it still today. And seeing how different communities and systems work and whether it's successful or not with those gender roles in place. Like that's a thing that's still in our world. So I kind of knew it. I kind of felt like it was gonna happen that way. But yeah, it's such a crucial thing for Sokka's development and Katara's development at the end of the season. So to leave it out now, with, you know, the first episode's dialogue being so different and Sokka's mindset being so different about women and men, it kind of makes me curious how they're going to have Sokka's character approach the Kyoshi warriors in Suki. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe they just didn't want to have that dialogue in there, but we'll see the way he acts and behaves and thinks when he's, you know, met with the Kyoshi warriors. Maybe he's gonna be different, maybe not. I don't know. The opening scene was of Sozin, like Fire Lord Sozin. His attack, right, on the air nomads. His ambush on the air nomads. And having the Comet Festival was pretty interesting. So all of like the air nomads came to the temple all together to make this ambush possible, which makes a lot of sense. I think not necessarily that in the original animated series that this is a plot hole, but Aang being the last airbender wouldn't make as much sense. You know, if the Fire Lord was attacking one temple at a time all the way through, or even like splitting up his army to attack all the temples all at the same time, because there are means to communication. There is the chance of all of the air nomads escaping, you know, deserters or people that air nomads going in disguise. I don't know how they would with the arrows on their head, but there's definitely, like, I guess you could say it, like a plot hole for how the invasion took place. But then again, the animated series didn't really like go too far in depth on like the strategy and the tactics that Sozin used to the comet in his advantage to wipe him out, other than like the incredible force was overpowering for the air nomads. But and it was by ambush, so I thought that was a good ad. I think having it like the comet be recognized and having it be a festival, and then all the air nomads come together as one, that makes a lot more sense in an ambush kind of way strategy. And we don't get to see any of that like in the animated series at all, how any of that went down, other than a few like glimpses here and there in the flashback with Sozin in season 3. So having it open that way is really cool. I also really just like the opening scene. How cool was that? Was the Earthbender trying to get the information that the Fire Nation are going to start a war, and he needs to get that to the Earth King as quickly as possible. And that whole like fighting sequence was just incredible. And you do see how ruthless and power hungry Fire Lord Sozin was when he burnt like that Earthbender to a stake. And don't even get me started about the actual bending. Looked incredible too. The thing about like the live action movie was that the bending was so disappointing and underwhelming, right? I think the coolest type of bending in live action would be Earth, because there's so many cool things that you can do with Earth, because the combat style is very forceful and stable and blunt, right? Like boom, boom, like, and Earth is very visible. Like, I'm sure water is very fluid. It looks really cool, super hard to animate, I bet, or like to make in CGI, like CG it. But Earth can look so different in so many different ways. And the cool part about with like earthbending is you're manipulating this element and you can like see it being manipulated when it's, you know, like when he was earthbending, like these big, I don't even know how to even say it. It's like uprooting stone and it's like jagged and it goes upwards. It's really sick. And that's what it looks like in the animated series, and they did a good job putting that into live action as well. I'm really happy with the opening scene, how they did that. Explaining more of like Aang's world before the 100-Year War and the time that he grew up in where like the war is starting. And then we talk about like, Gran Gran. And Gran Gran was the one to say like the original opening for the animated series, like earth, water, fire, air. The 4 nations live together in harmony, then everything changed, you know, that thing. Having her say that was kind of funny. She didn't get to, you know, say goodbye to Sokka and Katara. That felt a little bit rushed. I wish they had that, you know, moment together. Like I said, when Aang was escaping, he didn't go into the Avatar state when he was captured by Zuko. They waited to have like kind of powerful, that makes sense though, to wait and to have that powerful moment when he realizes that his people are really gone. Like he was stuck in the iceberg for 100 years and the realization hits and he's taken over in the Avatar state, whatever. So he doesn't go into the Avatar state when he's escaping Zuko. But then Katara is the one to step in and waterbend. And, you know, Zuko shoots a fire blast at them. Zuko seems a lot better than he is in the animated series at the start of the series in this one. That's because I think Dallas is just really good at martial arts, so it's really, like, pretending to be bad at martial arts would be something else. But yeah, no, Katara steps in, and we even see a growth in her immediately for when she's trying to, like, bubble up, conjure up some water. Then Aang helps her with the balance of that. Very, I think, really cool scene to add, by the way. So I think that scene between Katara and Aang, where Aang's already kind of teaching her how to just be a bender, like the mentality of being a bender, I thought was a really great, like, creative choice, like, add into that. And then having her grow even more to where it was almost like an instinct reaction to, like, survival, to you know, protect herself and the people with her and Appa and whatnot. And, you know, springing up that much water just like that, it really does help show, because the thing that, like, in book 1, they do a really good job of, like, showing the progression of how Katara grows as a bender, as a waterbender. And she, in her own right, becomes a waterbending prodigy. Like, when you have the right instruction and the right type of teachings, the sky's the limit. And you can really multiply yourself as a bender, basically, when you have that. And so having Aang just, like, teach her, like, it's good to not think about it. Like, don't think about it too much. Don't, you know, try to control it so much and it will come naturally to you, and it did. So that was a kind of a pivotal moment. I think that it was a nice touch. It was a nice add to have that. The Air Nomad Temple, the Southern Air Temple, looked really, really nice. It looked really cool. Aang's Avatar state, though, when he finds Monkey Otso, I think the actor did a really good job displaying the grief and the overwhelmingness of, you know, being a 12-year-old boy and having this all happen to you instantaneously. You know, seeing someone so alive and well and talking to you, and then you know, wake up from, you know, getting knocked out, you think, for maybe a day or two from the storm, and you go back home, and that's what it feels like. You know, he knows it's been 100 years, but until you really see it for yourself, the things that have changed, and then it really actually does hit you. Seeing Monkey Otso, like his guardian, basically decayed, just a skeleton. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. And so he goes into this Avatar state. By the way, in the animated series, Aang doesn't have control of the Avatar state, but correct me if I'm wrong, was it ever mentioned that when he's in it, he still is in control of his mind? Because I thought he wasn't. When I think of Aang being in control of the Avatar state, obviously triggering it. He needs the control to trigger it. If it's triggered by survival or an emotional point of, like, what we see here, overcome with grief. He needs to control it by being able to choose when to turn it off and on, basically. But doesn't that control also matter when he's actually, like, his mind is in the state too, right? Because it seemed like in this version, this adaptation, when he's in that mindset, when he's in that avatar state, he still has control of what he's thinking and when he turns it off. It didn't feel like, because in the animated series, it feels like he falls, like it just turns off when you know, it's triggered by like Katara's voice, and then he falls in it and he just, you know, goes limp because it's used so much of his energy. Again, not like just being nitpicky here, but one of the hurdles that, you know, Aang has to get over is being able to control that avatar state. That's like super important, because we later figure out that it's a survival mechanism, that it's kind of like a fight or flight situation. It's like a very vulnerable state for him to be in, because he could, you know, the reincarnation cycle can break when he's, you know, in it. And so being able to control it is like one of his biggest arcs. Then when he meets Guru Patik, right, in season 2, you know, he chooses Katara over the avatar state and he can't go into it at all, and it's just this whole, it's one of his biggest like character development arcs. As the avatar, as his character, as Aang. Maybe I'm reading too much into it here for the first episode of him in this avatar state, because he definitely is using it more as like a survival, like defense mechanism as of right now, that's triggered. But while he's in it, I believe he should not have control of it when he's actually in the state. But I could be wrong, and I could be reading too much into it. Dang, you guys, I feel like I didn't even need to take notes, but they also changed how they told Aang he was the Avatar, which I'm not really happy that they changed that, because this pulls from like different, like several Eastern Asian cultures, and the whole thing about the Dalai Lama and, you know, the belief of reincarnation, and things feel familiar to it, and that's how they choose the next Dalai Lama. Aang was supposed to know he's the Avatar by that system as well, and they didn't do that. They just had Gyatso kind of tell him in a more personal way, instead of presenting him those little fun toys, which I wanted to see, but oh well. And I just think that was kind of important too. I really don't want them in the series to dial down the spiritual aspect of Avatar. Maybe they're doing it as more of like out of respect. I don't know if they can get away with a lot of that stuff now, but part of the really cool things about Avatar is the world building system and the religion and spirituality within each culture is so, it's still like very omniscient and not as straightforward. But I mean, martial arts is cool, you know, throwing rocks and fire around is sick. But one of the coolest things I think about Avatar is its world building and the different types of systems and rituals and customs that they pull from our world to make it so cool and a really interesting and intriguing story that's never been told before. So I really hope they don't dial the spirituality aspect part of that back. That's something that I really enjoy about it. So we'll have to see in future episodes. I'm sure during like the winter solstice episode, they're going to kind of up that as well, hopefully. I want to see Roku's dragon. They better not let me down with Roku's dragon. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna stop rambling on here. That was kind of my breakdown, my analysis about all of this, and my overall thoughts. I do truly, I know that I'm being super nitpicky here, and I'm really like breaking it down and pointing out the differences. But overall, this is great for like a live action adaptation. I think that this is great. I was invested all the way through. It was entertaining. It got me excited because I kind of know what to expect, but at the same time, they do change a lot of things. So there's a lot of stuff that is new to me here, and I'm enjoying it. This is fun. So I'm having a fun time, and I cannot wait to jump into episode 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this reaction video here. Also on my Patreon, there will be early access to more live action Avatar reactions before they get posted onto YouTube, as well as the full-length uncut version of this one. So if that's something you're interested in, that'll be on tiers Gold and Platinum on my Patreon. So that's also in the description below. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.